This is a summary of the main Archon Quest Chapter 3, Act 5, and Patch 3.2. You can find more Genshin Impact summaries like this on my channel. The Traveler returns to Aru Village to discuss the details of the plan and rescue Nahida with everyone. They confirm the plan and head to the Eremite village with Alhaitham. After helping to prepare a special knowledge capsule with Alhaitham, you head over to Caravan Rebot and meet with Ramen and Sino. The first part of the plan is to go with Sino and get the local authorities to arrest Ramen and his Eremites, which would then lead to the Eremites being sent to Sumeru City where they can infiltrate. They go forward with the plan and Ramen and his Eremites are arrested and sent to Sumeru City. The Traveler then meets with Deha and heads over to Tignari for information on the Academia and specifically the Doctor. When they reach Tignari, Tignari reveals that the Doctor just left. The Doctor came to Pardis Di in order to obtain Hypatia. Tignari refused and the Doctor left, indicating that he was leaving for Shesnaya on an urgent matter. The Traveler and Deha pick up the Doctor's trail and track him to Port Ormos. Once there, they realize this was a trap meant to distract them and the Doctor has sent his soldiers to Pardis Di. They return to Pardis Di and Tignari sends them to check on Hypatia while he and Deha hold off the soldiers. They reach Hypatia and find her safe, but then the Balladeer, the Fatui Harbinger also known as Scaramouche, communicates to the Traveler through her mind. The Balladeer indicates that Hypatia is actually his first follower as he ascends to godhood. The Traveler tells the Balladeer that the Doctor is trying to capture her, but the Balladeer has no intention of killing the Doctor despite this. Instead, the Balladeer chases all the soldiers away with lightning, which also injures Tignari. After a brief chat, the group concludes that the Doctor is actually leaving for Shesnaya, completing this part of the plan, which was to get rid of him. The Traveler then heads to Sumeru City to meet with the rest of the group, and they recruit Nilou along the way. The next day, the Traveler and Alhaitham meet and attempt to infiltrate the Academia and reach the Grand Sage's control console, which presumably can free Nahida. They enter the Academia and get arrested almost immediately. The group is taken to the Grand Sage's office to talk. Once there, Alhaitham pretends to betray the Traveler and gives the Grand Sage a knowledge capsule on the Traveler as proof, but the Grand Sage sees through the ruse. Alhaitham then seemingly goes crazy from divine knowledge and attacks the Grand Sage, but is subdued. The Traveler and Paimon are imprisoned. Turns out Alhaitham taking the divine knowledge was another ruse. The goal was to get the Traveler locked up and to use the proximity to contact Nahida. For some reason, no one takes the Traveler's Akasha terminal and they use it to reach Nahida's consciousness and wake her up. Nilou then performs at the entrance of the Academia to distract the guards. Meanwhile, the capsule Alhaitham originally gave to the Grand Sage hacks the console and sends a message to all Academia guards that Nahida has escaped and needs to be captured. The guards rush into the city and get baited into an ambush from the Eremites. The Grand Sage is confused and goes to check on Nahida, only to find Sino waiting for him. Sino apprehends him. Deha then releases the Traveler from confinement, and the Traveler releases Nahida from confinement. They then head down to the basement of the Academia to fight the Balladeer, who is now pretty much a god. Once there, Nahida uses her Archon powers to take the Balladeer and the Traveler into a dream where they fight 168 times. Using the memories and battle experience gained from the dream and transferring it over to the Traveler now gains the combat ability to actually beat the Balladeer. The Traveler fights the Balladeer and defeats him. Nahida then takes the Electro-Gnosis from the Balladeer and uses it to travel inside a knowledge capsule containing Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's memories and her last remaining consciousness. Nahida and the Traveler travel through Rukkhadevata's consciousness until they reach Rukkhadevata's lucid consciousness, which takes the form of Nahida. Nahida and Rukkhadevata then have a conversation. Rukkhadevata explains that Nahida is kind of like a clone or reincarnation of Rukkhadevata. Rukkhadevata took a branch from Urbansoul and grew what is now Nahida. She goes on to explain that on the day of the Khanriya disaster, when the 7 gods were summoned, Rukkhadevata stayed behind to protect Urbansoul. Forbidden knowledge was once again polluting Urbansoul. Rukkhadevata explains that forbidden knowledge is foreign to this world and the world actively rejects it. Using the Akasha system, Rukkhadevata successfully cleansed Urbansoul of forbidden knowledge. Unfortunately, forbidden knowledge also infected Rukkhadevata's mind when she connected to Urbansoul and created a paradox. Urbansoul is the world tree that records the memories of the entire world. Rukkhadevata's very existence was recorded into Urbansoul. Even if Rukkhadevata died, the memories of her existence, which have now been infected with forbidden knowledge, would remain within Urbansoul, infecting the tree once again. That's why Rukkhadevata created Nahida and left a trail of clues so that Nahida would find Rukkhadevata again and erase her from Urbansoul, purging Urbansoul of any forbidden knowledge. Unfortunately, erasing Rukkhadevata from Urbansoul would also cause the memory of her entire existence to be erased from the world. No one would have any memory of Rukkhadevata's entire existence. After a sad goodbye, Nahida erases Rukkhadevata, thereby cleansing the forbidden knowledge, curing everyone of Elazar, and possibly restoring sanity to all the mad scholars. Everyone also forgets about Rukkhadevata, except the Traveler, which is likely because she is not from this world. Nahida and the Traveler head back to the Sanctuary of Sarastana, where the Doctor is waiting for them. The Doctor knocks out the Traveler and talks with Nahida. The Doctor reveals that he has created many versions of himself representing different points in his life. The one that left Sumeru was just another version. The Doctor and Nahida negotiated, and in exchange for the electro-gnosis Nahida took from the Balladeer, the Doctor will destroy all his other versions. The Doctor then kills all his other versions and Nahida gives the electro-gnosis. The Doctor then offers information on the rumor the skies of Tevat are fake, in exchange for the dendro-gnosis. We don't see the transaction take place, but supposedly they went through with it. The Traveler then wakes up in Gandharvaville and is being taken care of by Kale and Tignari. They talk to Tignari and Kale and learn that everyone with Elazar is cured, the sages are banished to the forest for the rest of their lives, and everyone remembers Nahida as always being the Dendro Archon. They also get a letter from Nilou for a celebration party, and the Traveler heads over to Sumeru City. Once there, Nilou asks them to personally invite everyone to the party. They gather everyone and party it up. Nahida even joins in by taking control of the Traveler's body. They later meet with Nahida and have a chat. Nahida explains that she's shutting down the Akasha system. The former sages have been punished, relations with the desert people is being repaired, the electro-gnosis was traded for the death of the Doctor's copies and new knowledge, and the Balladeer is in a coma and hidden away. Oh, and Fontaine is a land of justice ruled by the deity Focalors. Nahida goes on to discuss how Irminsul has no information on the Traveler since she is not of this world. However, it does have records of her sibling. The only conclusion for this is that the sibling is from this world, which doesn't make any sense. Nahida also talks about descenders, beings not from this world. The Traveler is considered the fourth descender. Nahida hypothesizes that the heavenly principles, the being the Traveler and her sibling fought at the beginning of the game, is the first descender. The other two are unconfirmed. And that is the end of this quest in this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this as much as I enjoyed making it. If you've liked what you've seen here, please like, comment, and subscribe.